you were training at Vince's, and then you were doing what for a living at the time?
Teaching school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What'd you teach?
History and English.
That's why you're so well spoken.
Oh, it is?
That's why you come off so clear and good. And then you decided to open the gym? Is that what happened?
No, I was drafted in 1969, and I ended up going to Europe, and I was on the U.S. Army Ski Patrol in the Alps. That was my duty. I didn't have to go to Nam. I wasn't going to burn my draft card. I went to Europe, and I was on the ski team. In the summer, we taught people how to be lifeguards. When I came back, I got a job to drive a Coca-Cola truck. And in order to make that easier on me, I started working out. And pretty soon I started developing and thought maybe I would try a contest. So while I was teaching school, I won a couple of contests. And then I did very well and decided to retire from teaching. And I became a gym owner and a professional bodybuilder, and I wrote courses, and that became a way of life.
I remember that. And where was your gym at the time?
It was in Valencia.
That's your first gym that you had.
Right.
Was it called Steve Davis Gym?
No, Valencia Health Club.
Okay.
And it was exactly the same wonderful equipment that Vince had, with his blessing. The cable crossovers, the dumbbells down the rack, chins, hack squats. It was essentially Vince's gym in Santa Clarita.
Right. How'd that gym do?
Very well. It was the only gym in town.
Oh, so you had a whole monopoly there.
Right, right. And we brought bodybuilding to the Santa Clarita area. We brought Louis out there to guest pose for the Mr. Santa Clarita contest. Mike Sable, remember him?
Sure, very well.
He won the contest.
Yeah.
So we kind of dabbled. My partner was Harvey Keith.
I remember Harvey very well.
Yes, And so we had that gym, and then, you know, I went and I won the World Championships in '77 and started traveling and figured I would just as soon do something else, and so I sold my interest to Harvey and did my own thing in the, you know, worked for Joe Weider and did seminars and so forth, and got out of the gym business for a while.
Right.
And was training where you trained in Panorama City at the World Gym, and Joe Gold made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I bought the gym.
Yeah. He built everything in that gym.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Right.
What year was that? It had to be, wait a minute, I'll tell you.
81?
81, because he opened it in 79, 80.
Right.
He only had it for a year, right?
Right.
He didn't like the commute.
Right. Well, I think Sven was going to buy it, Arnold's buddy.
Right.
And that fell through, and I got lucky, and that was funny, huh? That was a great gym.
Oh, my God. It was the best gym around.
And if I had to do it again,
yeah,
what I would have done is I would have said to each member, okay, here's your money back. Here's what we're going to do. You want to work out here, it's $50 a month. And just have 500 members at $50 a month. Hindsight's 20/20.
Of course.
But, you know, I kind of opened it up and tried to bring in all kind of people, and but that was like a laboratory for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It was the best equipment, no distractions. Remember, we put in a great stereo, mirrors around, Joe Gold
perfect
equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, tanning bed, one of the first tanning beds in there. That's
right.
No one had that.
Yeah.
And then he had the donkey next door. That was out in the back. We'd go through the gym, and in the back there was a little cement area, and there was a donkey there. We used to feed him apples.
Right.
It was so funny. Do you think that the area was okay for the gym back then?
Not at all. I had all kind of trouble with the neighbors, and you know, I guess some of the members were injecting each other on the side streets, and they'd find syringes, and I ended up going to a hearing in Van Nuys with the city councilman or something like that, and they put up restricted. I mean, it was a big deal.
I remember seeing the syringes in the parking lot.
Yeah,
but you know, it's going to happen.
Whatever. It was a bad area in terms of being next to a residential area where they had horses and mules and donkeys, but whatever. I mean,
and down the street was like a barrio. It was a lot of gangs.
Sure.
But the gym itself was good.
The best.
Now, I had brought up a long time ago about Joe Gold making dumbbells, and I think you probably had them as well. His dumbbell handles were bell handled.
Right, so it fits your hand better.
Exactly.
Right.
And today they're not like that.
No.
They're long, narrow, and the ones down at Gold's are rubber.
Yes.
I don't like those at all.
It's not exactly old school.
No, and you can't balance them. The one he did, they were just the right size to fit your hand and became part of your arm, and I think that's probably one of the reasons guys really gained on it. And in fact, Golds and Venice, you can't even find the dumbbells. They're scattered so around, none of them match. But I don't like those rubber handles. I mean, the rubber weights. I thought about coming out with a grip. I had talked to some people and trying to making me a grip that snaps on, that's bell handled, that you could take to the gym, put it on a dumbbell, and take it home, and you're done. So it fits your hand again.
That's a good idea.
I think it is, because that really made a big difference in your lifts, big time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember curling with the 60s, 65s, 70s. I do the 20s now, 25s, and it's heavy because I don't like the handles.
Right.
They don't feel right.
Plus, our joints aren't exactly newbies, so.
If I had to hang out at a joint like my joints in my body, I wouldn't go there. My joints are terrible. Now, you had the gym how long?
3 years.
Why'd you sell it?
I wanted to reopen many gyms that were available, and gyms that had opened and closed, and I had an opportunity to pick up 7 of them around Southern California, thinking with my good name.
I think I remember that.
With my good name, I could reopen them, and since none of my gyms ever closed, and start again. And unfortunately, I used the capital from selling the gym to make a down payment on the other 7 clubs. They were Nautilus clubs, but I turned them into bodybuilding gyms. I had no problem leasing equipment. I had no problem leasing. Everything was simple. My credit was perfect, based on the history of my first couple of gyms. And what I couldn't predict was that the community never would trust anybody in a gym that had opened and closed and opened and closed, and the people lost their memberships.
Yeah.
So I was stuck.
I can see that.
It was a huge nightmare.
Now, you sold the gym to somebody who moved it, right?
Yeah, up to like La Cañada, up in the hills, up off a foothill.
Right, and then they're not even in business now, right?
No, I don't know where that equipment is.
That was my question, because
I don't know.
That equipment is priceless. I mean, I don't think people who bought it even knew that Joe Gold had built it and what went into it. And in fact, people today sometimes say, "Who's Joe Gold?" I mean, no one really knows. It's kind of sad. I have his table saw in my carport that he gave me when he had the gym before you, because he knew I was building stuff on my house, and he gave me the saw, and I brought it home. That sucker's 200 pounds to move, and I still have it. And I cut fingers off on it.
Really?
Yeah, I was building something one day, and I stepped my hand down and cut all 3 fingers off, and I sewed these 2 back on. But it was Joe Gold's saw that did it, so it's kind of like it's kind of cool in a way, because it was his saw that he made his benches and stuff with. So I still have it. I wouldn't get rid of the saw because it means a lot to me, because it was his.
I mean, I work out at Golds in Venice, as you know, and I think the equipment today is good. I like some of the hammer machines and different things, and so the equipment that's out there is maybe 90% of what Joe's stuff was. But in terms of pull downs and rowing and the dumbbell handles and the easy curl bars, and
he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
I use more machines now than I do free weights, totally, because a lot of them really work. And it's in your head. You can do a machine for your chest, and if you envision yourself doing dumbbells, it will feel like dumbbells. If you're just going through the motions and throwing, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But you have to have a mindset that this machine is working something that the dumbbells would have done the same way, and it works fine. I mean, I was up to the 100s and 120s for presses on the dumbbells, and my shoulders started hurting. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. There's no reason for this.
Well, I remember that, I don't know how the subject came up, but Frank Zane once told me, we were talking about how heavy to train. And I trained with him the year that he first won his Olympia.
Right.
I won the World Championships that year.
You two had similar bodies.
Yeah.
Very similar.
He was my teacher.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, if I can make 135 pounds in a bench press feel like 315, I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
And he was right.
Yeah.
What I'm doing, I'm 64, I'll be 65 soon. What I'm doing, and you know how many thousands of reps I've done, and you know my muscles are stronger than my joints, so I have to train intelligently.
Right.
But I'm doing 5 reps now, 5 sets of 5, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm keeping my reps lower, and that seems to not aggravate my joints as much.
So you go up and weight to a single? Is what you do?
Yes, yes.
And do you come back down for a pump set?
Nope.
Don't have to.
No. I want to leave heavy.
Okay.
I want to leave on a heavy note. I don't want to give my muscles the sense that, hey, get that one and then you can kick back.
Yeah. And then how many sets per body part?
10, 15.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
Twice a week?
Yes, per body. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Just like before.
Yeah.
You don't need much more than that.
No.
In fact, that's a lot.
It's all about diet and nutrition.
And rest.
And right. And you know, I remember in the old days, guys used to come into the gym and lift up their shirts, and they had a million, like Bill Pearl used to say, the abs looked like a sack of walnuts. And they would say, and I had a whole apple pie last night.
I know.
And then they'd do 1,000 Roman chair sit-ups. And, you know, I thought, hey, why not just stay on your diet and do 5 sets of 15 hanging knee-ups,
right.
and you'll have the better abs.
Yeah, because doing all those reps on your stomach do not bring out the abs anyway. They harden them, but they don't remove the body fat.
No.
And how's your diet now? What do you eat? Strict?
Yeah, breakfast I have oatmeal and eggs and peanut butter and chicken, fish, salad, fruit, nuts. And a couple of nights a week I'll do whatever I want.
Okay, I'm the same way.
You know, there's 21 meals a week. And if I can be good on 18 to 19 of them, then the other couple don't matter.
What about in between the meals, as far as snacks, protein?
Oh, yeah, a banana and nuts, a couple pieces of fruit, a pint of organic carrot juice. So I eat 3 considerably large meals, but then 3 smaller ones. And it's funny, someone said, hey, you know, you look like you're in shape and blah, 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 not knowing my history. And she says, I know, you follow this rule. I said, what's that? She says, eat like a king for breakfast, a prince for lunch, and a pauper for dinner.